I would like to take you on a journey in the future. But first of all, sometime the future doesn't turn out as we expect. Look at some experts who have been completely wrong about the future of their own profession. Did you know that the Lumière brothers, who were pioneers in the culture industry, inventors of the cinema, were convinced in 1929 that talking movies would be just a short-term trend? Even Jacques Monod, the French doctor, the Nobel Prize winner in medicine in 1970, he believed that the size of the human DNA would prohibit us from being able to modify our genome. We know how much he was wrong today. And he was a Nobel Prize winner. Even Bill Gates in 1981 thought that nobody would need more than 640 kilobytes memory in a personal computer. Crazy, 640 kilobytes. Can you imagine? In short, as you can see, the history of innovation is full of wrong predictions, even from experts. And these examples illustrate just how difficult it can be to predict the future and the impact of certain disruptions, but also remind us how much skepticism can sometimes be a problem, and particularly to embrace disruptive innovation. Disruptions are always coming from the outside. And you know what? That's a good news for me. Because in front of you, it's quite challenging for me to hide my imposter syndrome. I'm not an expert in transportation nor in logistics or supply chain, not at all. I'm a futurist. I wrote 3 books about futurism, and my expertise is to analyze emerging trends and build scenarios based on these emerging trends. These scenarios might have different degrees of impact on my client businesses. And what I'm trying to do is to draw some potential risks and opportunities based on these scenarios. And today, I would like to present you one scenario, a highly practical scenario, grounded in reality, focused on how your business could, I say could, evolve in the coming years. So we're going to jump and take a trip around the year 2030. And to be more precise, 2029, in July 2029. And something big is happening in the tech world. The Apple CEO, Tim Cook, is giving a keynote in the metaverse. And he's announcing a drastic change in Apple's strategy. Let's listen to Tim Cook.
Today marks a significant milestone for Apple as we launch a major initiative to enhance our green production plan, positively impacting both our company and the planet. We're relocating our production to 3 global hubs, implementing a strategic component storage plan in the United States and in Europe, and introducing localized products for these regions and China. This shift signifies a new era for Apple, where ecological responsibility is an avenue for improved living and production methods. It's the opportunity for a better life for us and for our suppliers. This transition will drive innovation, generate sustainable employment, and bolster local economies, all while protecting the environment. In collaboration with our suppliers, we aim to set a new standard for corporate responsibility in the 21st century, proving that industry can benefit both the planet and its people.
Okay, so Apple is starting a new green revolution, and it will impact the production, but also the supply chain, as you may understood. And the press is on fire. All the interpretations are numerous about this announcement, and in an article published in the Washington Post, we can read that Apple will implement this relocation strategy in just a few months. They will create local factories in the US and in Europe, and of course continue their presence in China. Behind the massive relocation strategy, they aim to minimize the company carbon footprint, but also ensure their technical sovereignty. In 6 months, the European market will have its own factories and supply chain in Ireland. The USA will have theirs in Texas, and Asia production will be centered in Shenzhen and Taiwan. Of course, this decision impacts not only Apple, but all their suppliers. And the supply chain in the US and in Europe will need a complete redesign. At the same time, the technical press is highlighting a rumor. Apple will probably unveil a new product in just 6 months. It's a mysterious device fueled with artificial intelligence, promising an unprecedented user experience. Apple wants to take the lead in Europe on the AI personal assistant market. And the device is a revolutionary assistant powered by AI, designed to learn and adapt to the user habits. It offers, for example, assistance in a variety of contexts, from personal productivity, but also an infinite flow of information coming directly via audio from this new device. It can be connected to their augmented reality glasses that they've launched 1 year ago, but also all their other devices. And they plan to ship more than 90 million units in Europe for the launch. So it's a huge project for Apple. And Apple has chosen to manufacture this new product in Ireland, and several European companies have been enlisted to participate in the production, but also in the supply chain for this new product. And the requirements to be part of the game are clear. Firstly, Apple insists on complete transparency and precise calculation of the CO2 emissions. A rapid adaptation to a modified supply chain, a significant reduction in delivery times, of course, and all of this within 6 months. So now we are 6 months later, and the new product is announced.
Ladies and gentlemen, today marks a pivotal moment in technology. Apple proudly introduces the Apple Neck, a groundbreaking AI assistant without a screen. It's a revolution in human-machine interaction. The Apple Neck's AI is more than a tool. It's your intelligent companion, intuitively understanding and anticipating your needs. Together, we're not just launching a device, we're shaping the future.
So it's a big promise, and an early adopter like me cannot resist to order my Apple Neck. So I asked my personal assistant on my old iPhone to order it for me. I would like to order the new Apple Neck.
Okay, great. Which model would you like to order? The Ultra version or the standard version?
I would like the standard version, please.
Okay, let's go for the standard version. Shall I have it delivered to your home?
Yes, please.
Would you like me to pre-configure the Apple Neck in French?
Oh, oui, merci.
It's done. You're welcome, Michelle.
Great, so perfect. Now, let's dive in the next steps. But first of all, I forgot to mention that Apple has signed a European contract with a large company named Atlas X. Atlas X is a key player in the European supply chain and transportation market. They recently changed the name. Atlas X is recognized as the most innovative actor in its sector, and they have introduced a wide range of innovation, and particularly a very, very popular end-user application dedicated to customer relationship, the Atlas X app. And by the way, I just received a notification from it. So let's open it. My Apple Neck seems to be ready for delivery. But I would like to know a little bit more about the product. So I click on the More button, and the first thing I see, as you see here, is a digital certificate providing a wide range of information about the product. A unique ID, my Apple Neck is already associated to my Apple account. The location where the product has been manufactured, in Cork, in Ireland. Its carbon footprint at factory exit, 4 kilograms of CO2, quite zero. The origin of the components, Apple and Intel, something new. The level of recycling, 80%. 80% of the material used in the Apple Neck are recycled. And for the rest, 20%, they're all coming from the European continent and the neighborhood. We can see here Norway, Sweden, Bulgaria, France, Poland, Germany, etc. The certificates also display the entire life cycle of the device. It shows that it has left from Cork in Ireland and was transported to the port of Dublin. And as you see here, highlighted in yellow, each step of the supply chain has been recorded in real time. GPS coordinate, temperature, acceleration. It's not a gadget. It's very important to know if the item was subject to shocks during the transportation, for example. Speed, CO2 consumption at each step, and humidity. And all of this is recorded in a smart contract, the certificate, locked and secured in a blockchain. The transportation was done by an autonomous electric truck from Cork to Dublin, and it took 2 hours and 50 minutes to reach the Dublin port. Since 2028, Apple asked its supplier to respect some specific guidelines about transportation and transportation optimization. Trucks are not permitted on the road if they are not loaded at less than 90%. In this case, you can see here that the truck was loaded to 95% of its capacity. From Cork to Dublin, the Apple Neck was transported over a distance of 260 kilometers via highways and no urban roads. It was the perfect scenario for this kind of autonomous electric truck. And the distance was short enough to not require any recharging. Over the past 6 years, transport companies have heavily invested in this kind of vehicles. And today, in 2030, this technology is widely used in the European supply chain. The certificate also shows the exact moment when the Apple Neck arrived to the port of Dublin. We see here that we have access to the pallet number, the transport robot, the storage hangar, the dock. And this kind of information is provided by the tracking devices available in the port. Indeed, since 2029, the Port of Dublin has undergone a series of installations and automations. The port began to be equipped with robots for the loading and unloading of goods, as well as connected storage system, but also equipped with cameras, sensors, security systems, and of course, high-end connectivity which is absolutely essential for real-time monitoring of this kind of operation. But the port has also been redesigned to accommodate autonomous and eco-friendly boats. Let's take a look at the crossing of the English Channel from Dublin to the coast of France in Saint-Malo. The certificates indicate an interesting fact. In addition to some specific information about the conditions of the crossing, quite similar than what we've seen on the road, we see that the ship used is a very special cargo. It's a sailboat from the company Neoline. Neoline is a French company based in Nantes. They build impressive ships over 100 meters long, but also 3,000 square meters sail. Their ships are capable of reaching a speed of around 15 knots in strong wind conditions. And since the early 2020s, many prestigious customers are using the Neoline ships. Companies such as Cognac & Cie, Clarins, Longchamp, they're using these ships. And since 2025, AtlasX has been one of their most important clients for the European continent. Grain de Sail Logistics is a serious competitor to Neoline. I'm sure you are quite familiar with Grain de Sail Logistics. I see some people agree with that, because certain carriers are in 2023, were in 2023, working with them on some experiments. But let's take a closer look at why this mode of transport are favored by actors of transportation. Cargo planes have been phased because of their impact on the environment for short distance. Indeed, one of the major advantages of maritime freight is the balance between CO2 emissions, cargo capacity, and transportation duration. And in this case, from Dublin to Saint-Malo, it took almost 0 CO2 emissions, almost, loaded 5,000 tons of material with a trip of 72 hours to arrive to the port of Saint-Malo. Upon arrival in Saint-Malo, the pallet is transferred to a local center for sorting before being distributed by road. And once again, we can be surprised by the innovation made in this branch of the supply chain. Why? Because it's a hydrogen truck that transported the pallet from the port of Saint-Malo to the Île-de-France storage center. And these kind of trucks are not autonomous, right? But their energy efficiency is far better than that of electric trucks. And their CO2 footprint is almost also 0, because it's green hydrogen which is used in these kind of trucks. And the truck took 5 hours to arrive to the Moissy-Cramayel center, the main distribution center in Île-de-France. So as you've understood, the distribution process we have just seen took place well before I ordered my Apple Neck. The Apple Neck stock was available for upcoming sales in the Île-de-France region. So by the time I made my order, my Apple Neck was stored in Moissy-Cramayel for several days already. Oh, wait. I'm receiving a new notification from the AtlasX app. Oh, the Apple Neck is ready to be shipped now. And I have to choose a delivery option. I have 2 choices. Fast delivery, which will take only 1 hour and cost me 70 euros, or standard delivery, which is absolutely free, but the item will arrive in, let's say, 4 or 6 hours by tonight at my house. But like many early adopters, I'm quite in a hurry to have my Apple Neck. So I choose the first option, which is the fast delivery option. And as soon as I choose the fastest option, 2 drones are assigned to my delivery. The first one will operate between Moissy-Cramayel to Melun, and the second one from Melun to my home in Samois-sur-Seine. Yes, I'm living in Samois-sur-Seine, which is a small village near Fontainebleau. And now the app is asking me to define the precise landing area for the drone in my garden, which is actually my real garden. I draw the area, and the app accepts the the express delivery, and the zone is large enough to allow a safe landing of the drone. So I will have it in 1 hour in my garden. By the way, a quick reminder about this kind of solution. Of course, drone delivery has been a fantasy since many years, particularly since Amazon Prime Air was one of the first players. They started the experiments in 2016. JD.com in China has built a fleet of delivery drones that are specialized in reaching remote regions. We know also DHL that has been specialized in deliveries to isolated areas, or UPS, they acquired Zipline for the health delivery services. And you know what? AtlasX has become a major player in express drone deliveries since the company won a specific contract with Apple in Europe. Yes. In 2028, Apple launched its first service to deliver first aid products, medications, or blood in the event of an accident. And all of it within 15 minutes. The solution is able to send a drone automatically from everywhere after a call from an Apple product. It can be a watch, it can be an iPhone, or whatever, and even potentially via satellite. And AtlasX has won the contract in Europe, so they deployed a network of drones, mainly in non-urbanized areas. And today, AtlasX is using the same network for its express deliveries. Oh, 50 minutes later, I receive a new notification from the app. And it suggests me to put me in contact with the customer service. Why? Maybe because there's an issue with my AppleNeck delivery.
Good morning. This is Jean-Jacques, your personal butler. I'm calling to inform you of an unexpected issue that has arisen with the delivery of your Apple device. Unfortunately, the bad weather conditions have disrupted the shipping. However, I have arranged for a shuttle to deliver your package within the next 4 hours. Of course, be assured that the €75 additional delivery fee will be automatically refunded to you. I apologize for this inconvenience.
Okay, so now, given the proximity of my house to the Seine River, Jean-Jacques, my personal butler, tells me that a river drone can deliver the AppleNeck right in front of my house. And even if I'm not present, their partner, the Restaurant d'Aimé, a pizza restaurant just across my house, will be able to handle the AppleNeck. And I will receive it, they will receive it on my behalf. So, of course, I will accept the option for 4 hours, but Jean-Jacques has another proposal for me.
You should try Apple's trade-in program if you have old Apple devices to recycle. You have 48 hours to securely transfer your data to your AppleNeck and to send back your devices. This offer is not only beneficial for the environment, but it will also allow you to receive a substantial discount on your AppleNeck bill. It's our way of thanking you for your commitment to a more sustainable future. I can send a shuttle to pick up the equipment within 48 hours if you wish.
That's an excellent news. I have several devices to return for a refund. I have 2 MacBooks, 2 Apple Watch, 2 iPhones, 1 monitor, everything for €845 value. A footprint of 830 kilograms, and it's going to be a big box of 15 kilos. So the appointment is scheduled for Saturday at 11 a.m. in my house, just in 2 days. By the way, 4 hours later, the River Drones is sending me a message to ask me to be ready to collect the AppleNeck. So what do? 10 minutes later, the drone is arriving right on time across my house on the dock. I move towards the drone. I use my phone to check in via NFC, and a hatch opens to release a waterproof box. It's completely secured. And the Apple Neck is inside, in perfect condition. It's dry, of course. But wait, I did not forget that this transaction will cost me almost zero because of the trade-in option from Apple. Thank you. And 48 hours later, a shuttle arrives right on time to pick up my old equipment. But wait, Jean-Jacques is calling me on my phone.
Hello, Michelle. Please leave the box outside your house. I will take care of carrying it to the shuttle.
Okay, cool. I will meet Jean-Jacques, my personal butler. What a perfect customer service. So I come out to my house with my heavy box, and what a surprise when I see a black and white robot coming to me. And it speaks. In fact, Jean-Jacques is speaking through it. He explained to me that he's monitoring a fleet of robots all around the region. It's a new program of Atlas X. It's safe for the teams, it's more efficient, and all the personal butlers are in contact with their customers. That's quite a crazy situation. So crazy that all my neighborhood is joining me for a selfie session with Jean-Jacques. A great souvenir. So that's all for these 2030 scenarios. But now, what if we jump 10 years into the future, in 2040? You know, 2040 is not so far away. Huh? In fact, it's closer to us than September 11. In 2040, the most important priority for businesses is to ensure significant growth with drastically reducing CO2 emissions. So it's a dilemma. It's a very complex dilemma for the governments, but also for the economy and for businesses. And each business is trying to find a way to solve this dilemma. Apple was a pioneer in the relocation movement to be carbon negative and to repay their carbon debt. And Atlas X, in this field, has made a tremendous bet. The company has decided to radically transform their model, their business. From transporting atoms, physical goods, they're now transporting bytes, information. Indeed, Atlas X announced a massive investment of $30 billion in nanometric 3D printing technologies. This project, named Atlas Express, radically transformed the traditional approach to the production and supply chain. Each logistic building of the company around the world will be equipped with this kind of cutting-edge 3D nano printing solution to promote sustainability, to decrease CO2 emissions, to allow relocation of production, to reduce production costs, and to increase flexibility and adaptability to the market needs. And this puts Atlas X in a situation of a market leader. So voila, we have made a quick travel in time in the future of supply chain. I should say a potential future of supply chain. Because all of this is just one potential scenario. And if we take a look at it, we have explored several trends in this possible scenario. AI, data, IoT, blockchain, share economy with the pizza restaurant, recycling, autonomous vehicles, white glove services, my personal butler, transparency, the blockchain, hyper-customization, sovereignty, hyper-localization, hydrogen trucks, green energy, low carbon economy, even the metaverse. Some of these trends will be huge in the future. Maybe not. We don't know. Let's be clear. There are many potential scenarios, like there are many possible futures. We cannot know with certainty what will happen. Whatever the scenario, one of the major challenges we have is to ensure that humans remain at the core of everything. In the scenario presented, the humans were not always visible. This is absolutely true. But don't forget that they designed all the processes. They were responsible of controlling, adjusting, handling the bugs. They were responsible. You may also have noticed that machines, robots, AI performed perfectly well, but in classical cases. In some specific non-classical situations, well, the customer needed to speak to someone, Jean-Jacques. Jean-Jacques was here, the real one, on the phone, and sometimes behind the robot, even if he was augmented, extended, teleported, he was here. Whatever the scenario, we have to be prepared. And this is where my job, my expertise, scenario planning, is quite good at. Being prepared. Not being surprised in case of disruptions. And sometimes, maybe here, we can doubt about the plausibility of a scenario. In that case, I always try to remember the Lumière brothers, Bill Gates, Jacques Monod, and their mistakes about the future. Peter Diamandis, the founder of the X Prize with Elon Musk, said one day, "The day before a revolution, an idea that changes the world is always considered a crazy idea." That's so true. So my message is simple. Take the chance to believe in crazy ideas. Thank you.